Hi, folks, and welcome to Open Analysis Live AMA, where we answer your reverse engineering questions. If you like this kind of stuff, go check out our Patreon. Lots more reverse engineering content there. With that, let's get into it.
This is a good follow-up by, was it Mycicle? Yeah, Mycicle said, I guess on that discussion from before, how do you guys feel about the accessibility of certain parts of the industry? And what promising areas do you see for the new year and beyond? So essentially, if I want to get into the industry in the future, I hope I'm not strawmanning this question. Like, if I want to get into the industry in the future, where should I go? Where should I look? What is the I'm thinking, by the way, and I don't have a
I'm actually very interested in that answer.
I think
I would say
like,
it depends on what you want to do too. Like, what is this industry? Just RE, just malware analysis, just security? Like, it depends on where you scope your answer. Like, one of the things I tell a lot, like I've done a lot of hiring, recruiting, and like resume stuff over the many years. And I tell people, like, use your internships, or if you're in college, like jump around and try different parts of it. Try forensics, try malware RE, try vulnerability research, try the different things. Like, find out what you like, and also try different industries. Try finance, try defense, try commercial, try big tech, try try all the different stuff, because they all have a different kind of feel to it. You may find what you do or don't like. So I think the answer depends very much on like all of the. You can't answer generically, I guess, in terms of like how to start.
I can answer on what I'm doing, which is malware reverse engineering, and I think the accessibility is horrible. There is no formal education that prepares you well for it. There is, when companies want to hire somebody like me, they never want anyone who's inexperienced. They never want anyone who's just beginning. They always want somebody who's already experienced, and like best case scenario, a super Twitter rock star reverse engineer. That's who they want to hire. It's terrible. It's very inaccessible. To me personally, I consider that a hiring opportunity, and I mean, I'm not a manager, but I'm on good terms with my manager, and when I get asked, I always recommend I'd rather hire two motivated, intelligent, complete newbies in the field than hiring somebody who's 10 years in one person who's 10 years in super experienced. Clearly, I don't want to be a hypocrite. If I can hire two people who are 10 years in super experienced or two newcomers, I will probably vote for the experienced ones, but I hear a lot from people that it's difficult to break into the field as somebody who has no experience yet.
Yeah, we should.
And I don't feel, really quick, that's final point.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's many good positions that give you a learning opportunity to become a reverse engineer. If you start as a SOC analyst, you will, like, the job itself will not prepare you well for reverse engineering. Something like incident response might be a little better, but there's few other jobs in this ecosystem, in this same space, that lets you do a lot of reverse engineering. Whenever it comes up, you will usually be told, well, that's not what we do, that's what we have the reverse engineers for. So
I just wanted to say it's important because there's a lot of people here watching this who are in high school. I see you Zoomers. I see you on the Discord. Your humor is stupid. So anyway, it's not stupid. It's just I don't understand it. Okay, but anyway, I know there's so many for real. I know there's so many of you who are literally in high school just trying to figure things out, and I think that especially if you watch our channel and a lot of people that we like, a lot of channels that we recommend, you're probably getting a skewed, this is very unfortunate, but it has to be said because these are things you're going to need to make your life decisions based on. So you're getting a skewed view of our industry, and it's skewed from the perspective of people who fucking love reverse engineering, who are really into this and are reasonably successful, at least successful enough to pay the bills at reverse engineering. That's not what you should be looking at. You should be looking at the industry as a whole and where all the jobs are. I mean, you have to be realistic about it. This is what I was saying before. I don't think I described it properly, but if you love reverse engineering and that's all you're doing all the time, you're probably not asking these kind of questions because you're probably just going to try and find a reverse engineering job. So, you know, you're already on the track. You know what track you're on. But if you're asking these kind of questions, it's because you want to know, should I specialize in something? Is that thing going to be around when I'm later on when I'm coming into the job market? And the real answer to that is that if you listen to us, you're getting a very skewed perspective, and you need to keep that in mind. You should probably look around, look at the jobs that are posted. There's just, in simple fact, there's just not a lot of reverse engineering jobs. There's way more jobs for JavaScript developers. That just is what it is, right? And if you want some job security, well, don't be a JavaScript developer because fucking ChatGPT is coming for you, bros. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's more. The more generic you're getting, the more jobs there are for it. And if your goal is just to get a job in the industry, because and that's, you know, that's where these questions really come from, then yeah, maybe go and try and figure out something else that there's more jobs in. But like, if you're only doing reverse engineering all the time, you're probably going to get hired. I mean, it's going to suck. I mean, somebody mentioned in the chat, C. Peter, who we all know, Chong Dong, who we all know and love, and is now gainfully employed. The Dong, yeah, man, fucking insane reverse engineer, insane, and went to university for reverse engineering, and interned at Mandiant. This motherfucker is like A1 prime. This is the dude, and he was having a hard time getting a job, a really hard time. So just keep that in mind. You need to go Google Chong Dong and be like, am I as good as the Dong? Well, maybe if I'm not, maybe I need to, see why was it so hard for him, and see if I can try to mitigate some of those things that were holding him back. Now, I know that he wasn't in the U.S. at the time, and that's another thing that you need to keep in mind, is a lot of these jobs are U.S.-centric. So if you're in a different country, Dodo, and you are, trying to get a reverse engineering job...
If you're in a shithole country like Brazil...
I didn't say shithole. I just said non-U.S. You added shithole. Bring a little German flavor
I never
here.
said any such thing. I never said any such thing.
Clip it.
Dodo
Clip
knows
it,
I'm
chat.
kidding.
No, but seriously, explain Dodo, because you have some experience with this. Like, not all these jobs are available to people outside of the U.S.
Just for the record, this was a dig at the U.S. considering every non-U.S. country a shithole. I'm not actually shitting on Brazil, to be fair. It's every country.
I'm gonna edit this apology out of the VOD, so it just seems like he said that, and then we move forward.
God damn it!
Rattle looks
So
like
many
the
porn screen
biggest
walkers.
asshole here.
So let me briefly expand on this so you know why I had such a reaction to this. So I wanted to pitch Chong to our company, and we couldn't hire him because he's not in the U.S. And I think that just sucks very much. But I don't know. It seems to be a reality.
The thing with security in Brazil, and I kind of touched upon this when I was talking about LinkedIn stuff, is I can't speak much for the overseas market, but I get the feeling that security in general is not that accessible, because you either have people that behave like Rattle said, that they want, even for a junior position, they want sometimes considerable technical knowledge. And on the other hand, and I see this down here a lot, is you have positions where the people that are hiring for security don't actually know much about security, so they just stuff the job openings with as many certifications as you can. And that's especially bad in Brazil, because a lot of the, let's say, entry-level certs are foreign certs, and so you pay for those things in dollars, and
it's like a house
right now.
Like a sand cert is like a fucking house in Brazil.
No, for real. Like, and here's how it happened to me. I have no my whole university and postgraduate stuff has absolutely zero to do with tech. I'm a journalist with a postgraduate in marketing, and I decided to transition into InfoSec, and I started taking some courses, and I was fortunate enough to know some people, and they offered me a chance at the junior position. But one thing that I noticed that is also a problem and ties into something Sergey said earlier about you making sure your job won't be taken by the goddamn machines is you gotta learn stuff. And this is also a problem because I've worked a very short time period on security, all things considered. I have a little bit over 2.5 years experience in the field, but on those 2.5 years, what I've noticed, at least here in Brazil, is most companies will pay for training and certs when they are related to tooling. Like they will pay you to get certified by Checkpoint or Fortinet or something like that, because they have contracts that demand that the person providing the service holds a cert on that technology. They rarely will pay you for something that is incredibly valuable on the technical side of things, but is not, let's say, marketable and in a contract. And then I have something about things costing the price of a house. I took a huge gamble. I'll explain why in a bit. I took a huge gamble. I lost my marketing job, and I decided I wanted to transition into InfoSec. So I got the whole pay packet. The whole pay package I got from getting fired, and I put that into courses. So I just shop around and I go, okay, who can I learn memory analysis from? And then COVID happens, and I go, oh, look, the guys that wrote the goddamn volatility framework suddenly are offering on-demand lessons because of COVID. So I picked my money and I paid for that myself, which was really good for me, but it's also a real indicator of how inaccessible this thing is, because let's face it, I wouldn't put it as a shithole, but Brazil is certainly a third world country, and our currency is
You're gonna have to pay for this forever.
Yep. Our currency is worth a fifth of the US dollar. So I paid from my own pocket for that memory training, which was $4,600. Converting that to Brazilian bucks, I paid 27,000 bucks for training.
Jesus Christ.
Which is, first of all,
I say don't do that.
Insane.
Like, to people in the audience that are watching, like don't do that. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Just for context, I give trainings. I run a lot for many years. Like, trainings are meant for companies. I feel horrible when individuals pay for my training classes. Like, I legit feel really, really bad. Sometimes we'll just discount them. Anyway, they're priced the way they are because companies have training budgets, right? They're not priced for individuals. A lot of people think, like, if I take this training class, that's gonna, like, let me get this ability, which will let me get a job. It very rarely works out that way. Certifications, I think, are awful for a lot of reasons, but, like, there are some places where if you have the certification, you can get a job. Like, I despise them in general, but, like, it can actually make a difference in getting a job. However, like, once you're in the industry, almost all of your jobs are going to be based on who you know, connections, other work experience. It's not based on any of that other stuff. So, like, the most, just if you're starting out, the most important thing that you can do is to do, like, silly stuff like be engaged in Discord, on Twitter, like, connect and network and get in touch with other people, and then do things that show you're learning and you're energizing, and like, you want to do stuff on your own. And so to
have a blog
earlier, Have a blog, 100%. Have a blog, or like if you're doing CTF challenges, have a GitHub where you put all your write-ups. Show what you've done, because when I've like I said, I've literally interviewed hundreds of people. Like if I see on the resume of like actual real GitHub projects, actual real write-ups of the reversing they've done, and I can ask them questions about that, like that's better than any certification. It's better than any training class. It's better than any degree that exists in this field. So like getting actual things that you can talk about that are technical and real, that's that. So step one is you have to get those things. You have to like actually put the work in, but then step two is put it in a way that's available and put it on your CV, put it on your resume, put it in your GitHub, do it in a way that people can be like, oh, okay. Like that's the most important thing you can do for a job in this space. And it's still not a guarantee, but.
Yeah, I want to underline what you said like 1,000 times. It's like, yeah.
So I wanted to say something about that.
Speaking from experience, I've done this. Do not do this. Do not pay for stuff that's priced for companies. It's not a wise decision. Don't. I love the training. I learned a lot, but
it shouldn't cost a degree.
Comes from the fact that I was lucky enough to be born in a family that can afford stuff for me, so I can pretty much throw bags of money at training, and I don't do that anymore now that I can actually afford it. So huge disclaimer, don't buy sand courses for yourself, please, for the love of God.
Sub
don't
on
do
Patreon.
That. Sorry.
Drakonia had
you
something.
forgot the last part. Yeah, sorry, Drakonia.
So as someone who wants to do or wants to get into the industry after I finish education, I did look into it, of course, like into jobs. And it's like cyber isn't just an industry. In Germany, I feel like it's so obscure. It's like for even the weirdest industries, you can get some peek at what they do. But for cyber, it's like very hard, especially like the job descriptions that you get when you search for like newbie positions is basically impossible because all of them require experience, which is also like it feels very discouraging.
Get internships and meet people. When there's a conference around, I was in Berlin last year at Offensive Con. Like, go to conferences. Like, even if you don't get it, you can apply for student scholarships to conferences. Don't pay yourself. Again, don't pay yourself. You can find companies that will sponsor you. Like, there's conferences that'll actually. In fact, I think we're doing it for events. Yeah, we're doing it for Offensive Con again next year. I'm doing a training there where we've said, yeah, we'll like take on 1 or 2 students for free. So like the conference is like organizing and finding students that want to attend the class, and they can attend the training for free as full-time students. So like, especially while you're a student, do internships and meet people. Like that is 100% the best thing you could do to get a job.
To underline this even further, like once Drakonia is ready, I would like rip out my right arm to get her a job interview with us, because the other side is that when we put out a job posting, we don't get great applicants all the time. It's not like it's super weird. It's like on the one hand you have all these people who say, "Oh, I want to get into reverse engineering," and on the other hand, we're sitting there, and you get tons and tons of CVs that are just horrible. And like I think for the last position that we were trying to fill, we had 5 interviews, all of which were, I mean, I don't. It's not. They were nice people, but none of them could even read C code, which is. And we're, as I've said, yeah, we're trying to hire people. Like, we don't put much weight on having experience. We try to find people who have skills and who are motivated, but it's super hard. And yeah, so Rattle, hire me in the chat. I would hire Thomas. We're good.
Yeah,
we're good.
I think like actually putting stuff out is really a good way. Because, like, I don't know, it was kind of funny. I will not name any names, but recently I looked into my Twitter follows, and was like, oh, I got a like real big bunch of followers all of a sudden. I was like from a specific company, and it mentioned that there were red teamers, and then I also got a DM from them, and they were like, hey. They were kind of interested, and someone said that some of the stuff that I put out was actually helpful for them. For engagements. So I was like, hey, this is actually cool. it actually is really rewarding if you once you put stuff out. So if you think about doing a blog, and yeah, it is work and it's kind of stressful for me because I'm not good at English writing, but
Oh, come on.
there is a lot of people that will help you willingly if you just ask them. For example, Rattle, Washi also does a shit ton of help. They have helped me a lot with my vlogs. So yeah, if you just get to know people and ask them for help.
She doesn't need
can-
nearly as much help as she tries to
Yeah,
like
selling
convey
short.
here. Yeah.
No, but it is
One thing
definitely a great entry to get to know some people and ask them to proofread your stuff or like tell them about your ideas. Because many times people have different perspectives. That's actually one thing that helps. It's not like you don't know stuff, it's that you need a different perspective sometimes, which someone who has more experience or a different kind of experience can give you. So, really good. Ask people with different opinions.
Also, if I can add something to that, like people will not know you for having done a degree. People will know you for, oh, you've written this amazing blog about, I don't know, XYZ technology, or oh, you have written this library, or oh, you have done this amazing talk. Like that's the things that I think, at least. I mean, I'm not a professional either.
No, I wanna. This is how a degree used to work in like 1640, right? That is how you got your degree. You wrote you did a fantastic piece of work, and that was your dissertation. That is how you got your degree. And just society hasn't caught up with the development that our field is a thing. And I feel like whatever formal education is out there doesn't, as you said, in no way represents your skill.
Yeah,
and
like the projects and the GitHub repositories and your blogs and everything, that says so much more. And like if you keep doing the stuff that is interesting in that particular field, sooner or later people will notice it, you know, and that's
And from my perspective, and my perspective is that of a person that does not like interviewing candidates but keeps being forced to for some godforsaken reason, is when you get someone that, okay, maybe they don't have the certs, maybe they don't have a degree on the field, but when you get to talk to someone and you actually see these kinds of efforts, like this person is writing tools, they are doing write-ups, they are sharing knowledge, they are contributing to the whole security ecosystem, I guarantee 100% this person might be a bit of a junior. Holy shit, my phone just killed itself. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I guess iPhones don't like when I talk about jobs.
Made in Brazil.
So, yeah, what I was getting at before my phone yeeted itself from my desk is when you hire someone like that, they might be even a bit underskilled for the position, but I 100% guarantee that once they get the resources from a company to actually learn from other people in the field that they are already interested in and already invested in, they will have this incredible like progress in a incredibly short period of time. They just take off. And so it's something that from the perspective of someone looking for a job, I think it helps. And from the perspective of someone that gets the chance to hire someone like that and see the person like skyrocketing on their skill level, it's incredibly rewarding. So yeah, that's definitely the way for me as well.
Notorious put something actually pretty interesting in the chat. I'll just read it real quick. The problem with the mentality of we are hiring people with skills and the complete package, you will have a hard time finding the perfect fit. I think you need to take potential into account I know this is not easy to evaluate as well, but from experience in the DAC, that's Germany, Austria, and Switzerland region, a lot of management is complaining that they can't find qualified personnel, maybe due to the fact that they're simply not interesting for the bunch of qualified people, or they're searching for the perfect package. This is a very, very German issue, where like we looked into that a bit in school when they were like, oh yeah, basically this company had like all these requirements, you need this and that education, you need a perfect grade score. It's like, how do you want to find candidates if you just search for perfect, like basically the perfect candidate all the time? This is like not the good way to hire people, but it's getting better. Companies are actually starting to look at potential in Germany. But Germany,
as I said, we're certainly
driven by.
I feel like we, like at my company, we're doing this. We're trying to hire people who have potential, who want to do this, who have fun doing it, and we put way less weight on experience than we even did years ago. So
yeah, everything's maturing, and people are starting to bring in hiring practices from other industries, because it's not such a special snowflake industry anymore. But it's changing slowly. I mean, there's still a lot of, I think what Jordan's gone now. Thank you very much.
But he had
joining
great
us,
points.
Jordan. His points about the, how to get hired, get yourself seen. I think everybody said this basically, but yeah, start a blog, try to get an internship, try to produce something, and that still works. That's still a way to get in. So that wraps it up. Big thanks to our panel of experts. You can go check out their socials here. Thank you very much. And if you guys want to see more reverse engineering content like this, in-depth tutorials, live streams, your questions answered, go check out our Patreon. Lots more stuff like that there. And stay tuned for the next question.